Class 10, Chapter 4 of Chemistry 1. Give the name of the following functional group. OH, that is alcoholic group. B, COOH, that is carboxylic group. Name the fourth member of alkaline series, that is C5H10 pentane. Name an element other carbon which exhibits the property of gradation up to 7 or 8 atoms. Are these compounds stable? Silicon also exhibits the property of gradation. Compound of silicon are not stable. List two characteristic feature of carbon. So the two characteristic feature of carbon is catenation and tetrahedrality. Write the name and the molecular formula of an alkyne having four carbon atoms. So an alkyne having four carbon atoms are is butane, that is C4 and H6. Name the substance used for oxidation of ethanol. So KMnO4, that is potassium manganese oxide, or K2PR2O7 is used for oxidation of ethanol. Carbon tetrachloride is not a good conductor of electricity. Give reason to justify the statement. Carbon tetrachloride is a covalent compound. Such compound does not produce iron. Therefore, carbon tetrachloride is not a good conductor of electricity. Apart from organic beings, where do we found carbon? So we found carbon in air in the form of CO2 and on land in the form of minerals like carbonate. Write the number of covalent bonds formed in the molecule of ethane. So 7 covalent bonds. Write the name and formula of the second member of homologous series having general formula CH2M. So it is propane, that is C3H6. Catenation property. The unique property of carbon to form bond with other carbon atom give rise to large molecule is called catenation. Due to catenation, compound of carbon have long chain of carbon, branch chain of carbon, even carbon atom are arranged in rings. Write the next homologous of each of the following: C2H4, C4H6. So C3H6 is propane and C5H8 is pentane. Write the molecular formula of methane. So CH4 ethanol C2H5O. Which type of compound can be formed by carbon? Covalent compound. Why does only carbon exhibit property of catenation and form large number of compounds with other elements? Carbon atom has a small size and this enables its nucleus to hold on the shared pair of electrons quite strongly. This is why carbon forms strong bond with other elements and their compound form are exceptionally. Write the name of the saturated hydrocarbon having two carbon atoms. Also write its chemical formula. Saturated hydrogen carbon has two carbon atoms is ethane. Its chemical formula is C2H6. Name any other element which like carbon can form compound which have chain up to 7 or 8 atoms. How does this compound differ from carbon compound? Silicon forms compound which have chain like carbon. Compounds formed by silicon are few and not so reactive. Name the functional group present in the following compounds: CH3COOH, so carboxylic acid group; CH3COCH3 ketonic group. Write two member of the homologous series given below: C2H6 and C3H8, that is C4H10 and C5H12. Define isomerism. The phenomena in which two or more compounds having same molecular formula may exist with different structural molecules is called isomerism. Explain saponification. The reaction of an ester to react with an acid or base to give back the alcohol and carboxylic acid is called saponification. This is called because this reaction is used in the preparation of soap. Isomers, the compounds that contain the same molecular formula but different structure, are called structural isomers. Thus, isomers of a compound have different physical properties. For example, butane with molecular formula C4H2. How would you name the following compounds? CH3CH2CH2, a bond CCH3 twice bond CH3, so it is dimethane pentyne. Second is CH3CH2CHO, that is propanol. Next is CH3CHOH CH3, that is propanol. Specify any three rule of nomenclature of organic compound. Count the number of carbon atom in the compound and give its base number accordingly. Identify the functional group in the compound and name the compound by adding the prefix or suffix of the base name. If there are only carbon atom single bond, the ending in the base name will be "-n". If there is double triple bond, the ending base name will be "-ene" or "-ine". Give two examples of covalent bond compounds which you have studied. So, ethanol and ethanoic acid are the example of covalent bonds. State any four properties in which covalent compound differ from ionic compound. So, covalent compounds are formed by sharing of electron, while ionic compounds are obtained by transfer of electrons. Covalent compound does not conduct electricity, while ionic compound do. There are weaker intermolecular force in covalent compound compared to ionic compound. Covalent compound possesses low melting and boiling point compared to ionic compound. A mixture of ethyne and oxygen is burned for welding. In your opinion, why cannot we use a mixture of ethyne and air for the purpose? A mixture of ethyne and oxygen undergoes complete combustion at high temperature is attained suitable for welding. Whereas air is mixture of nitrogen and oxygen, oxygen can burn ethane into carbon dioxide and water with the production of heat. Nitrogen does not have the property of burning ethane, therefore less heat will be produced if we burn ethane and air for welding purposes. With the help of an example, explain the process of hydrogenation, mention the essential condition for the reaction, and state the change in physical property with the formation of the product. Conversion of an oil fat into fat by passing hydrogen gas in the presence of nickel as catalyst is called hydrogenation. Condition: presence of a catalyst like nickel. What is difference between the molecule of soap and detergent chemically? Soap are sodium or potassium salt of long chain carboxylic acid. Detergents are ammonium or sulfonate salt of long chain carboxylic acid. Cleaning action of soap: the ionic end of soap dissolves in water while the carbon chain dissolves in oil. Soap molecules form micro where one end of soap molecule is linked to the oil droplet while the ionic part faces water. This forms an emulsification in water. On adding water, the molecules containing dirt are washed away and our clothes are washed and cleaned. List the two states for the experimentally distinguish between an alcohol and carbonic acid and describe how these tests are performed. Test 1. Reaction with sodium. To 1 ml of sample in test tube, add a small dried pieces of sodium metal into it. If bubble of hydrogen are seen, the sample is alcohol, otherwise it is carboxylic acid. Hydrogen gas burns with pop sound when a flame is brought near it. Second, reaction with sodium hydrogen carbonate. Take 2 ml of saturated liquid solution of sodium hydrogen carbonate in a test tube. Add a little of unknown sample into it. Shake. If evolution of carbon dioxide gas takes place, then the sample is carbol, carbonic acid, otherwise it is alcohol. Write chemical equation of the reaction of ethanoic acid with the following: sodium, so Na plus ethanoic acid forms CH3COONA plus H2O. Second, sodium hydroxide NaOH plus CH3COOH forms CH3COONA plus H2. Ethanol C25H5OH, that is CH3COH, forms CH3COOC25H5 plus H2. What are covalent compounds? Why are they different from ionic compounds? Covalent compounds are the compound that contain covalent bond in the molecule. A covalent bond is formed by sharing of electron between atoms. While a covalent compound contains covalent bonds, ionic compound is made up of ionic bond which is formed by the transfer of electrons from one atom to other. So, these compounds show low melting point and boiling point because their intermolecular force is weak. Such compounds are poor conductor of electricity, generally insoluble or less soluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. When ethanol reacts with ethanoic acid in the presence of concentrated H2O, H2SO4, a substance with fruity smell is produced. Answer the following. State the class of compound to which the fruity smelling compound belongs. Write the chemical reaction of the equation and chemical name of the product. So the fruity smelling compound belongs to the class of ester. C2H5OH plus CH3COOH forms CH3COOC2H5 plus H2O. Concentrated H2SO4 acts as a dehydrating agent that removes the water found in the reaction. What is a homologous series of carbon compounds? A series of compounds whose two successive members differ by CH2 in the molecule formula and which shows similar chemical properties are called homologous series. Characteristics: melting and boiling point increase regularly with increasing in the molecular mass. Solubility in a particular solvent shows a regular gradation. Chemical properties remain the same in homologous series. Why do carbon form largest number of compounds? Carbon has two unique features. It is tetravalent. It has the property of catenation. The above two features enable carbon to form a large number of compounds with varying size, shape. That's why carbon atom has a long chain or even are arranged in branch or ring. Because of tetravalency, carbon atom it is compound are linked by single, double or triple bond. Carbon atom are also bonded with oxygen, hydrogen, chlorine, nitrogen, sulfur. Give rise to compounds with specific property typical of the elements other than carbon present in the molecule. Difference between saturated and unsaturated hydrogen carbonate. So saturated hydrocarbons. A hydrocarbon in which each carbon atom is attached to four other atoms is known as saturated hydrocarbon. The bonds to form a single covalent bond. These hydrocarbons are also called alkanes. Unsaturated hydrogen carbon. Hydrogen containing either a carbon double bond or a carbon triple bond in their molecules are called unsaturated hydrogen. So, what are hydrocarbons? Carbon containing carbon and hydrogen are called hydrocarbon. Example CH4. Give one example. Mention the structural difference between saturated and unsaturated. So, saturated hydrogen carbon and methane, that is CH4, and unsaturated hydrogen carbon is ethene, that is C2H4. Both soap and detergent are same type of salt. What is the difference between them? So, soap molecule has two parts. The ionic end of the soap dissolves in water while the carbon chain dissolves in oil. Most dirt is oily in nature. Soap molecules form a micelle around dirt, whose outer parts are directed towards water. On adding excess water, the dirt along the soap molecule is washed away. This is how the cleansing action of soap is described. Hard water contains chloride and sulfate of calcium and magnesium which react with soap to form insoluble scrub. Therefore, soap is not able to perform its cleaning action. Give reason for the following. Unsaturated hydrocarbons show addition reaction. Unsaturated hydrogen carbons show addition reaction. This is because unsaturated hydrogen carbon contain double or triple bond. Such compounds are unstable because the four valence of the carbon atom are not satisfied by linking to four atoms. They complete the four valence in addition reaction. Conversion of ethanol to ethanoic acid is an oxidation reaction. In the conversion of ethanol to ethanoic acid, the number of oxygen atoms increases, the number of hydrogen atoms decreases, hence it is an oxidation reaction. Explain why carbon form compound mainly by covalent bond. So the two main are Catenation. It is the property of carbon to link with other carbon atom to form straight chain, branch chain, or cyclic bonds. Tetravalency. Carbon has four electrons in the outermost shell. It shares these four electrons with four electrons from other monovalent atoms. Carbon has the tendency to form bonds with hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and halogen. This increases the number of compounds of carbon. Give a chemical test to distinguish between saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons give a clear film on burning, while unsaturated carbon compound will give a yellow flame with a lot of black smoke. A compound AC2H4O2 reacts with Na metal to form a compound B, and the gas evolves burn with a pop sound. Compound A on treatment with alcohol C in the presence of acid form a sweet smelling compound as C4H8O2 on addition of NaOH to give back B and C. Identify ABC. So A is CH3COOH, that is methanoic acid. B is CH3COONA. C is C25H5OH, and D is CHCOOC2H.